In storytelling, there are timeless dynamics that easily facilitate drama and are recognizable by many. You can take an action movie and have a superstar lead the production, such as in Bruce Lee movies. But add to that the disciple, and you have the master-student relationship, classic as seen with the relationship between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, or Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars franchise. Mortal Kombat is home to its own master-student stories, such as the one between Sub-Zero and his disciple, Frost. Sub-Zero is known by a great deal of the gaming public, but can we say the same about Frost? We'll explore this character in our video on the full story of Frost. Frost is a woman who is a cryomancer, a race of humans who are native to the realm of Outworld, separate from Earthrealm, that have the innate ability to control ice. By the time of the events of the Mortal Kombat games, cryomancers are exceedingly rare, with only Bi-Han and Kuei Liang, both of whom have taken up the identity of Sub-Zero within Mortal Kombat, though the second name is the one who has acted as Sub-Zero for the vast majority of the franchise's mythology, and Frost, being the only known cryomancers in the game's story. Frost is generally depicted with short hair and an intense gaze, and a blue martial arts outfit. The blue outfit is similar to what Sub-Zero is often seen wearing, and both are members of a Chinese martial arts clan called the Lin Kuei. Depending on the game, Frost is depicted as impetuous and misguided at best, or corrupted at worst. Her presence naturally adds conflict in a way that is undesired. Frost's first appearance is in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, the fifth game in the Midway continuity. Throughout the course of the first 4 games in the Midway continuity, the Lin Kuei was rife with corruption, with its most heinous action arguably being the pursuit of the Cyber Initiative, which sought to convert its warriors to cyborgs so as to subordinate them, creating an army of ruthless and obedient fighters. But even prior to that, the Lin Kuei had a history of brutality and amorality. Bi-Han, the first known Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat and older brother of Kuei Liang, was a Lin Kuei warrior who took on contracts just for the money, before he eventually perished after he killed a man who later got his revenge against him after becoming undead, that man being Scorpion. Sub-Zero was the name assumed by Kuei Liang from the second Mortal Kombat game onwards, and he refused to comply with the Cyber Initiative when it was enacted. As time passed, and while he helped to fight back against the machinations of series villains such as Shao Kahn, Sub-Zero would later seek to reform the Lin Kuei, and this would happen after he became the Grand Master of the clan, in the process acquiring the Dragon Medallion, an item that boosts the wielder's powers and a symbol of clan leadership. Once Sub-Zero reformed the Lin Kuei, he held a tournament to choose a disciple, and the winner of that was a woman named Frost. She was already highly skilled, and Sub-Zero would personally train her, further helping her develop her cryomancer powers. Yet while her powers would develop, her moral sense would not. She would seek to take over the Lin Kuei, consumed by arrogance and convinced of her own power. Sub-Zero had begun to notice her problematic attitude, and would take her with him as he sought to fight back against the evil sorcerers Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, the Deadly Alliance. She had met with the Earthrealm heroes prior to this, and notably did not get along with Sonya Blade of the United States Special Forces. Sub-Zero's plans to expand Frost's perspective so that her personality would change had failed. While Sub-Zero and Frost later journeyed together in Outworld, Frost froze Sub-Zero and stole the Dragon Medallion from him, but she was unable to handle the medallion's power and seemingly froze to death. Sub-Zero, once he unfroze, did not hate her for her corruption and buried her himself in Outworld. However, in the next game, Mortal Kombat Deception, Frost woke up from her grave alive and well, remembering that she had been journeying with Sub-Zero, but without knowledge of how she had come to be buried. She swore to kill Sub-Zero. She made her way back to the Lin Kuei headquarters in Earthrealm while Sub-Zero was in Outworld again. Sub-Zero was one of the heroes who survived the events of the Deadly Alliance, which saw the slaying of a few prominent Earthrealm heroes. Frost lay in wait at the Lin Kuei headquarters for the return of Sub-Zero so that she could kill him, but she eventually went mad and began to see visions of Sub-Zero everywhere and killed innocent Lin Kuei warriors. When Sub-Zero returned, he froze Frost and placed her in an ice coffin and then sealed her within a chamber in the Lin Kuei base. Frost would return for the last game in the Midway continuity, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Taven, from the realm of Edenia, awoke Frost from her coffin, unaware of what he was doing or who Frost was. Frost, still delirious upon awakening, thought that Taven was Sub-Zero and sought to kill Taven, but Taven won in that fight that ensued. She would later participate in the fight between good and evil, called the Battle of Armageddon at the end of the game, and aligned with the forces of darkness with the other villains, only seeking to kill Sub-Zero. She did not accomplish this and died in that battle. The forces of darkness did win the war, however, with Shao Kahn and Raiden being the last remaining combatants. Before Raiden would perish, he sought to send his memories of the experiences he had within this timeline to a past self, right at the moment before the events of the first Mortal Kombat game. This is the foundation for the NetherRealm continuity. Frost is not present during the story events of Mortal Kombat 2011, the first game in the continuity. However, Frost makes a cameo appearance in the Pit 2 in the background of the stage. Fighters can be seen squaring off against each other, with the game cycling randomly between Rico, Serena, Kenshi, Dagon, and Frost herself. But Frost does appear in Mortal Kombat 10, though not as a playable character. Nevertheless, her role in the story is small. The arc of the Lin Kuei's story is somewhat similar to the Midway continuity here, as Kuai Liang as Sub-Zero would have to reform the Lin Kuei himself after they pursued the Cyber Initiative, and his goal was successfully achieved. Sub-Zero would later take on Frost as one of his disciples. She is seen in a flashback during Scorpion's story mode chapter. Sub-Zero and Scorpion were among a long list of characters who were animated after death as revenants to serve Quan Chi, but the two were among a smaller list within that group of formerly dead heroes who would later be revived per an accidental overlap of magic. Scorpion and Sub-Zero would later reform their respective clans, the Lin Kuei and the Shirai Ryu, successfully. After this, Sub-Zero invited Scorpion to the Lin Kuei headquarters, hoping to make peace. Scorpion uneasily assents, tense even as he arrives at the headquarters. He has long understood, incorrectly, that the Lin Kuei, and among them Sub-Zero's older brother Bi-Han, is responsible for killing his family and destroying the Shirai Ryu. While Sub-Zero recounts his discovery of the tainted history of the Lin Kuei, Frost appears and aims, and misses, an ice blast at Scorpion, expressing disgust at the attempt to mend ties between the clans. Scorpion knocks out Frost and, filled with rage, fights against Sub-Zero, wearing the latter out. While Sub-Zero recovers, Frost reappears to attack Scorpion, but Sub-Zero freezes her. Scorpion is thrown off, and Sub-Zero affirms that he didn't summon Scorpion to kill him, and that Frost is strong but lacks judgment. Sub-Zero would then go on to show Scorpion a recorded conversation that reveals Quan Chi as the reason for the destruction of the Shirai Ryu and the slaying of Scorpion's clan. This flashback closes Frost's involvement in the game. Frost does also make an appearance in the Mortal Kombat 10 comic series, which predates the events of the Mortal Kombat 10 game. She is shown as a fighter who participates in death matches prior to joining the Lin Kuei. One of her fights was against Cassie Cage, a new character in Mortal Kombat 10, and the winner between herself and Frost, much to the chagrin of the haughty Cryomancer. Cassie almost kills Frost after knocking her out, but the criminal Black Dragon group arrives and disrupts the fight before Frost can be killed. Frost is later carried off by medical personnel and eventually recovers. She receives a visit from Raiden, who hopes to set her on a good path and tells her of a tournament to be held at the Lin Kuei headquarters. Frost travels to the Lin Kuei base and, confident of her abilities, seeks to surprise Sub-Zero from behind, but is flipped on her back, again wounding her pride. Sub-Zero has no idea who she is and what she is there for, with Frost only later explaining, as her wrists are bound by Sub-Zero, that she is there for a tournament. Sub-Zero later agrees to her participation, and this tournament would be what leads to her becoming one of his disciples. Frost is the sort of character whose unwieldy personality can easily create drama and tension in a story. Mortal Kombat 11 deals with themes of time travel and past selves of characters meeting their current selves. It's very likely that Frost is as impetuous as she has always been, but Frost's backstory has not been properly shown off in any NetherRealm continuity game, and could make for some interesting storytelling. Even if she is a haughty character, it's not clear that she is a fundamentally corrupt character, so either describing her as morally ambiguous or having her come to terms with the bigger picture of the events of the world of Mortal Kombat could make for a good story. She could also simply be led astray by any of the villainous characters of the story. In any case, if we see Frost, we can certainly expect something interesting. What will be more important is whether or not that story allows for her to be of continued importance after Mortal Kombat 11. And that closes our video on the full story of Frost. Frost is misguided, simply put. She is too absorbed in her assumptions of her own power and judgment to see anything other than what she already has convinced herself of. The problem is that, in Mortal Kombat history thus far, she's never been successfully convinced of anything other than what she already believes, and always has to be put down. Is this her fate in the world of Mortal Kombat? What do you think of Frost as a character? Would you like to see her return in Mortal Kombat 11? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.